Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. And Raw tonight was from the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. And basically, tonight's Raw, this is going to be a short review because nothing really happened tonight on Monday Night Raw. No crowd, as usual, just like we saw uh, this past Friday on SmackDown. Of course, due to the whole coronavirus. But, nothing happened on Raw tonight except for the Undertaker, AJ Styles contract signing, Stone Cold Steve Austin coming on only for like 316 day, and then Rey Mysterio versus Andrade, Cien, Almas. So basically that was that. So this is going to be a short Raw review. So, but at this point, WWE, if they're going to continue doing their shows without a crowd, they should just take their ball and just go take a break. Take a break until this whole virus pandemic, is gone. That's what they should do. Because I don't know how long they could continue. Well, putting on their shows, Raw, SmackDown, without a crowd. So, but they should just take a break. But Vince McMahon wouldn't do that. So, but even NXT, I don't know if NXT is gonna be doing shows without a crowd. But anyways, let's get on with the Monday Night Raw review. So, Monday Night Raw opened with Edge. Edge came out. He got in the ring. He got on the mic. And he ended up saying, the past few months have been strange for him and his wife, Beth Phoenix. So we ended up seeing a video package on Edge and Randy Orton, and when Orton ended up RKOing Beth Phoenix 2 weeks ago on Monday Night Raw, which I was at from the Barclays Center. So we saw that, and then Edge went on about how this has been taking a long time coming, and he's talking to Randy Orton while, looking at the camera. He goes on about, their history, rated RKO. And Edge ended up saying that him and Orton are alike. But he ends up saying there's one difference. He said that Randy Orton is an entitled brat. And Edge ends up saying about how he didn't have this handed to him. And he came up under a single mother who worked hard. So Edge went on and says that Orton is jealous of him because he can't do what Orton can do what Edge can. And it tears Randy Orton apart. So Edge revealed that Beth Phoenix came to Raw 2 weeks ago when she gave, the medical update on him. And Edge ended up saying that Orton just couldn't let Beth Phoenix finish. Edge ended up saying that it's pretty simple now. He says that at WrestleMania, if Randy Orton or, WrestleMania is going to be taking place at the Performance Center, if you guys have checked out the previous video that I uploaded, hours, I think 3 hours, 4 hours ago. I'm doing this at 11:14, and that video went up 8:30, so maybe 3.5, almost 4 hours ago. So I talked about my thoughts on the on WrestleMania moving to the Performance Center. So definitely check out that video if you guys haven't seen it. So Edge ended up saying that if Orton had the guts, it'll be Edge versus Orton in a last man standing match at WrestleMania from the Performance Center. And that match is going to be taking place without a crowd. So Edge ended up saying that this isn't a story Randy Orton writes. He says that he will dictate, and at WrestleMania, Randy Orton won't be standing up. So that was that, but good promo from Edge. Really liked what he had to say. Even though it was kind of awkward of, him talking and, there not being no crowd at the Performance Center. So, but good promo from Randy Orton, Edge. So, then we saw a 18-wheeler truck pull in. And it is, Becky Lynch driving that truck. It had the man on the back of it. Really liked how the way this truck looked as Becky ended up driving in, going into the Performance Center. And we see Becky ends up honking the horn and hops out of the truck, marches right into the Performance Center. So really like the design of the truck. And then WWE had nothing else to do for Monday Night Raw tonight. For the first half first half of the first hour into the second half, or the second hour. So we got a rerun of the men's Royal Rumble match. So WWE had nothing else planned for Monday Night Raw tonight. So during the half of the first hour into the second hour, they just gave a rerun of the men's Royal Rumble, where Drew McIntyre ended up winning the match, ended up winning the Rumble. So that was that. Then we went to the contract signing between AJ Styles and The Undertaker. And Jerry Lawler was in the ring. There was a table and chairs, of course, for a contract sign-in. Jerry Lawler ends up introducing The Undertaker. So The Undertaker came out and he ended up marching into the ring, fast walking into the ring. And I'm like, that's a record. The Undertaker fast walked right into the ring. So then Undertaker ended up entering the ring. He started flipping over the table and the chairs. And then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. So then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Undertaker was pacing around the ring, and Undertaker ends up continuing to pace around the ring. AJ Styles' music ended up hitting, and he didn't come out. AJ Styles' music ended up starting back up again. He didn't come out. So The Undertaker was the only one that was in the ring. So then we see the OC. Styles was there, Gallows, Anderson. They were on the big screen. AJ was shown having the contract in his hand. And he ended up saying that The Undertaker is a legend who has carried the business on his back. But he keeps putting himself in a company that wants to see him gone. So Styles ended up saying that you can bet The Undertaker will put himself into a WrestleMania season. And he ended up saying that this is all Michelle McCool's fault. And Styles was like, oh, it's Money McCool. And Styles ended up saying that Michelle McCool helps Undertaker dust off his crusty jacket each year. And that he goes out to embarrass himself. So Styles ended up taking shots at The Undertaker. He also called him Mark, which of course is The Undertaker's real name. So Styles ended up saying that Undertaker has put his nose in the OC's business twice. So Styles ends up going on taking shots at The Undertaker and talking about his age. So then after Styles ended up talking, how he wanted to talk and getting all that through, taking shots at The Undertaker, he ends up finally signing the contract. And he didn't want to go out to the ring. So he ended up sending out Anderson and Gallows to bring the contract out to The Undertaker. And Carl Anderson, wasn't interested in that. Wasn't interested in going out along with Gallows to deliver the contract. So Styles ends up telling Luke Gallows to take the contract. Gallows wasn't interested. So both of them start arguing. And so Styles ends up sending both Gallows and Anderson out there. And he was telling both of them to not, back talk to him. So Gallows and Anderson went to the ring, had the contract. Gallows and Anderson slowly walked out. Undertaker was staring them down. And Gallows and Anderson were hesitant. They were laying the other contract on the ring apron. And both Gallows and Anderson back up away from the ring. And so we hear the Undertaker's gong. The lights went out at the Performance Center. And we hear the bell toll, once. Lights come back on. And the Undertaker was shown, not in the ring, but he was standing behind both Gallows and Anderson. So Gallows and Anderson, they turn around and they see the Undertaker standing behind them. So Taker then ends up taking out Gallows and Anderson at ringside. They ended up sending Anderson into the barricade. Also the Gallows ends up tossing Anderson into the ring steps. And Taker then ends up signing the contract. Styles was watching from, on the other screen. Taker then rips the contract out of the holder. And he takes the contract, shoves it in Carl Anderson's mouth. So that was basically that. And Styles was just on the big screen staring back at The Undertaker. And that was that. But I thought this was very funny. Very funny contract signing between Styles and The Undertaker, even though Styles ended up sending Anderson and Gallows out there pretty much for The Undertaker to destroy the both of them. And then we had only one match on this show. Rey Mysterio versus Andrade, Cien, Almas. We've seen this many times before. We've seen the both of them go at it. Nothing new here. Rey Mysterio ended up getting the win. 619 to Andrade. And we also had Asuka on commentary throughout this match. Which it was funny to hear Asuka commentating during this match. She was like, trying to talk like that. So Rey Mysterio won, 619 to Andrade. That was basically that. Then we saw Becky Lynch came out. Becky Lynch ended up coming out. She got in the ring, got on the mic, and Becky ended up saying, "This is for Shayna Baszler." And Becky says she knows that Shayna is watching and listening because Shayna is obsessed with her, with Becky. So we end up seeing Shayna Baszler watching from backstage. And Becky ends up going on and bragging, saying that, as long as she's the champion, Shayna Baszler's whole existence is a lie. So Becky ended up calling Shayna an animal scumbag. She ended up saying everything she's done is designed to make Baszler think of Becky, what Becky wants. So Becky ended up going on, ended up trash talking to Shayna Baszler. She ended up saying, watching Shayna dominate at Elimination Chamber did wake her up. Yeah, I'm sure, you pretty did, because that fucking match, that fucking women's Elimination Chamber match sucked. We all knew that Shayna Baszler was going to win it. So, glad it finally woke Becky up. Which, to me, Becky's losing the title at WrestleMania. Shayna Baszler's taking the title from Becky at WrestleMania. Even though it's going to be done without a crowd, which sucks. So Becky ended up going on and says she will prove at WrestleMania that Shayna's whole life is a lie, and that it's going to hit her like a truck. It was okay promo from Becky. And then after Becky's promo, Charlie Caruso was backstage with Kevin Owens. She was interviewing him. Charlie Caruso ends up mentioning how Kevin Owens wants to face Seth Rollins anytime and any place. So Kevin Owens ended up agreeing. He ended up asking Charlie Caruso that he wants to speak on his own. Charlie Caruso ended up letting him have, the whole talk. So Kevin Owens ends up saying that he knows Seth Rollins is watching and waiting. So Kevin Owens ends up accepting the challenge and says that the match will happen at WrestleMania. So there you go. We're going to have Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. So Kevin Owens ends up saying that there is no better place for the match to happen. And he means it. Owens went on about how Seth Rollins has had his goons, AOP and Buddy Murphy, and the advantages as of late. And Kevin Owens ends up saying that he will have the home field advantage at WrestleMania. He ends up saying that the match will happen when he started his career, his WWE career. when he had the hardest experience of his career. And Kevin Owens ended up talking about making memories and meeting people, special people, at the Performance Center. He says he will add one more memory to that list when he beats Seth Rollins in the middle of that ring in the same building that he earned his place in WWE. He says he will do it at WrestleMania. Pretty decent promo from Kevin Owens. And then we get to what we've been waiting for all night. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin came out because it's 316 Day. It was a 316 Day celebration. So Stone Cold Steve Austin came out, took some of his Broken Skull IPA beers. He ends up having a beer bash in the ring, classic, vintage Stone Cold Steve Austin beer bash. He ends up chugging the beer, the first two beers. He does his fall in the ring, which was funny. His signature fall. And Stone Cold ended up taking the mic. Stone Cold ended up saying that he declares that March 16th is now a national holiday from here on out. So he ends up asking for the crowd to give him a hell yeah. He ends up asking again. And so Byron Saxton is standing up. And he does the hell yeah. And then Stone Cold goes, what? And Byron Saxton once again goes, hell yeah. I thought it was funny. I was laughing. So then Stone Cold Steve Austin ends up reading off cards about what the day means, what 316 Day means. And Stone Cold was reading one of the cards upside down, which was funny. His last declaration was that 316 Day is a day where you can whoop anyone's ass at any time. He was like, that's the bottom line. So Stone Cold ends up saying that Byron Saxton has been such a big help. So Austin ended up inviting Byron Saxton to come to the ring to celebrate. So Austin had, a few more beers, end up being tossed to him. Byron Saxton ends up heading to the ring. And Austin ends up thanking Byron Saxton, hands him a beer, and Austin ends up thanking Byron Saxton for his work, offers a toast to Byron Saxton, and he ends up calling Byron a jackass. So both of them start chugging the beers, and then, of course, when one of them chugs a beer, whenever in the ring with Stone Cold Steve Austin, that he's going to hit a stunner. And that's what basically Austin did. He ended up hitting the stunner to Byron Saxton. And so Austin's music ended up hitting, calls for, more beers to be tossed to him into the ring. And then Becky Lynch made her way out. Becky ends up coming out carrying a cooler. And once Becky got into the ring, she ended up stepping on Byron Saxton like, he wasn't there, which was funny. And Becky ends up saying she's here to celebrate 316 Day with Austin. And Austin's music ended up starting back up. He and Becky continue having a beer bash. And Byron Saxton, he was trying to get up and recover from the stunner. which he finally did get back up. And Austin ends up pouring more beer on him. He drops Byron Saxton with another stunner, which was funny. Becky ends up taking the mic. She says in Byron Saxton's face, that's what happens when Stone Cold Steve Austin and the Man come around. And, that was basically that. And then Stone Cold says, oh, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold. And then the feed ended up cutting off. Raw just ended after that. So, but, it was cool seeing Stone Cold come back, even though we all know that he was just back to pop a rating for Monday Night Raw, and because it's 3/16 day. But other than that, nothing happened on the show tonight, except for the stuff that I mentioned. The Undertaker versus AJ Styles WrestleMania contract signing, Stone Cold Steve Austin coming off a 3/16 day, only to pop a rating, and Rey Mysterio versus Andrade, Cien, Almas. That was that. But all in all, I think everyone wants WWE to take a break, and then come back once this whole coronavirus is dead and gone. But that's not going to happen. Vince McMahon is greedy. He's a greedy fuck. So he's just going to continue on with these shows without crowds. WrestleMania is going to suck without a crowd there. It's going to be taking place at the Performance Center. But yeah, so that's it for the Monday Night Raw review. No 40-minute video, no 40-minute review. So short and sweet. It's a 27-minute video. So thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this little review, even though nothing happened on the show tonight. And definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Check out my previous video, my 2 videos that I did today. Check out my unboxing of the 1984 VHS big box of A Christmas Story that I did. And then also check out my thoughts on WrestleMania 36 being at the Performance Center. Give my thoughts in that video. So be sure to check out those other 2 videos that I posted today. So thank you all for watching, and give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and until next video, which will possibly be the AEW Dynamite review. So till then, I want to see what Dynamite's gonna be like without a crowd on Wednesday. So I will see you all back with the Dynamite review.